Okay, welcome back, and in this third video we're going to develop those skills a little bit more. So we've looked at creating shapes, and we've looked at colour and a little bit of how we can use that. So let's have a look at some more drawing techniques that we can use in Illustrator. So we've looked at the pen tool. We're going to miss out the text tool for the time being. We've also got the line tool, so we can draw lines, which useful for certain things. You might use it, you might not use it that much. I don't tend to use the line tool that much. I tend to use the pen tool more. You've got the shape tools, which I said, but also when you click and hold, so when you left click and hold on the shape, you'll see that there's different options. So we've got rounded, rectangle, ellipse, polygon tool, star shape. So let's go for ellipse. So if I draw my ellipse and I say, well, actually I want a circle, not an ellipse. Now you can faff about moving these points around, but that seems a bit like hard work, doesn't it, to try and make a circle? So let's not do that. What we can do is we can hold shift. So if we hold shift on the keyboard when we draw our, no matter where I move my mouse, as long as I've got shift held down on the keyboard, I will create a perfect circle. So there's a perfect circle. Once I've done that, if I start moving it around, I can then change it to ellipse if I don't hold shift down. If I hold shift down, it will always snap to being a perfect circle. And that's the same with any shape. So whether you're drawing a square, a triangle. A triangle's a good one because you think, well, where's a triangle on here? Well, the best way to create a triangle is using the polygon tool. So you just click, and then you tell it how many sides you want. So you want 3 sides. Click OK, and it's drawn you a triangle. Okay, let's just bring that down a little bit. Okay, so pretty easy to draw a range of different shapes, whether they be circles, squares, triangles. You can do stars as well. So in there's a star tool. You can draw stars. It draws a default shape star without you sort of like telling it what to do. So it'll be a 5-pointed typical star. But if you click, it'll ask you what you want to do. So you can change that from the amount of points you want. So you can change it to 11-pointed star if you want. And you can actually change the parameter of the radius. So you've got radius 1 and radius 2. So radius 1 is the outside and radius 2 is the inside. So obviously it'll do 11 points between those points. So if I bring this down, it'll be quite a spiky looking star, especially if I reduce the points, the size of the line. So you can create different shapes like that. Okay, moving on from there, you might want to at some point remove some part of a shape. Okay, so you might want to erase or cut part of a shape out or get rid of a part of a shape, and I'm going to show you how to do that basically, and then in the next video we're going to show you a bit more using what's called Pathfinder. So what we're going to do now is going to just use the erase tool, and if I use the erase tool and I rub, you'll see that it erases part of my shape. Okay, I can actually increase the size of my erase tool by using the bracket keys on the keyboard, the square brackets, not the normal parentheses, which are the curved ones on keys number 9 and 0, but the keys next to P on your keyboard. There's like I call them flying seagull, sideways flying seagulls, but they're like different bracket shapes. There's one rectangular and one that's like a curved shape, but if you click on those, you can make your tooltip larger or smaller, and this works across all different softwares. So in Photoshop and things like that we come to later on, you can use to change your brush size. So I can use this to rub out, and as you can see, as I rub out, it leaves where my erase tool went. It doesn't just erase the line, it actually remembers where the erase tool went and then draws a line around it. So it's not the greatest tool in the world when it comes to what it says it does. So again, it's not a tool that I would probably use very often, the erase tool. However, inside the erase tool, click and hold, you've got the scissors tool, which is something I do use. So if I wanted to change a shape and I wanted to do something here, and I didn't want to do it a specific way, I could just select 2 points, click on that one, and then press delete. And it gives me a line between the two. I'd have to be very neat to do that with an erase tool. And this is why I keep saying more and more that it's more sculpture when you're working with Illustrator. So the knife tool is really good. Sorry, the scissors tool is really good. The knife tool works a little bit differently. So the knife tool is you drag through something, and you'll see that when I've selected it and I drag through it, well, that didn't work, did it? Why has that not worked? It's maybe because that's not a complete shape. Let's have a look now. Oh, let's try that again. There we go. So because this is not a complete shape, it didn't like me cutting through it. So now it's a complete shape, it will let me cut through it. As you can see, the reason why I didn't know how that was going to work, because I don't use it very often, to be honest. But it's good for a good way of cutting things up. If you start off with a complete shape. If you don't start off with a complete shape, then you will fall into problems. But you can use it to draw lines, you know, and it'll create shapes. And now I will have some separate shapes to use. Okay, so the knife tool. So we'll draw this little video to a close, and we'll move on to a bit more complicated shape building using Pathfinder.